is a full body stretch and release session. So for this class you need your half dome or your rolled up towel, you need your strap and if you've got a block, grab a block. If you don't have a block, don't worry, you can use a cushion, you can use your half dome, just something that you can pop between your knees and squeeze, so anything like that will be fine. And for today's session we're going to start standing. So we're going to start with our calf stretch this morning. So grab your half dome or your rolled up towel. Okay. And have the top of your foot to the top of your dome, heel down, and then try and get that outside edge of that foot as straight as you can before you step this free leg forwards. And then when you're ready, step that free leg forwards. I'm just going to start with a nice little calf stretch here. Once you're in that calf stretch position, try and stand up tall. So notice if it's making you want to lean forwards. Try and keep your weight through the heel of this standing leg. And then once you're in position, do your little scan for tension. So notice if you're gripping a lot of tension through your jaw, through your neck, where are your shoulders? Is it making you want to arch your back and thrust those ribs? Can you relax your ribs down? How about the fronts of those thighs? Are they gripping? See if you can relax the fronts of your thighs. And then just taking some deep breaths there, just allowing your body to settle here. As always, that kind of stretch reflex. Once you get in position, your body tends to grip and then it takes a moment to relax. So we're waiting for that sensation of relaxation through the calf, and then we're going to see if we can step it maybe a little bit further forwards. Just a couple more breaths here. Good, all right. And then the leg that's on the half dome is the one that we're going to step back. We're going to do the top of the foot stretch on that leg. So step that leg back, tuck in those toes under, and then try to stand tall. And then check again. Has it made your body grip? See if you can find that little bit of softness again. Nice. We're going to step that leg back forwards onto its half dome. Again, get that outside edge straight. Find that calf stretch position again, and then hinge forwards at your hip. So just folding forward, stick your bottom out behind you. Keeping a pretty flat back here. Weight is back through your heels. As we hold for a few breaths. When you're ready, come on up. And let's just do the same on the other side. So bring it down to the other foot. Again, top of the foot to the top, heel down. Get that outside edge as straight as you can. And then step in your other leg to hip distance. Once you're in position there, try and relax. Do your scan. Jaw and shoulders is usually mine. Check those thighs. And we're just allowing our body to settle. We're taking those deep breaths, trying to find that softness. Again, once that initial stretch has started to feel a little bit easier, seeing if you can maybe step that front leg a little bit further forwards, and if not, it doesn't matter. But try it and see. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm going to fall backwards, then just step it back. Good. All right. So we're going to do the top of the foot stretch. Again, the leg that's on the dome is the one that we're going to be stretching. So take that leg back, tucking those toes under and standing tall. Couple of breaths here. And then we're going to step forwards again, back into your calf stretch position. Once you're happy that you're back in that same position, you're going to hinge and find that flat back, sticking your bottom out position. And hold. And then when you're ready, just coming up and out of that one, just popping your half dome to the side so you're not going to trip over it. We're going to go back to that top of the foot stretch again, but we're going to do the rainbow this time. So taking one leg back, tucking those toes under, and instead of just staying still this time, we're going to roll that foot from side to side. So you're kind of rolling across your toes. And then do the same on the other side, step the other leg back. And trying to stand up tall and just rolling across the top of those toes. Oh, it's quite painful on the floor. Let's get my mat, there we go. Alright, and then come in to stand with your feet hip width, outside edges straight. So we're going to do our pelvic lift, so we're going to do a little bit of standing hip strengthening. So as always, pressing all of your weight down into one leg so that the other leg can float away from the floor. And then lowering with control. So we're going to try and keep it really controlled so that we're not kind of just lifting and dropping, kind of smooth up and smooth down. Try and keep your weight back through your heel so that you're really working this standing hip and your bottom on that side as well. You can probably feel those glutes working as well. Try the other side, same thing. You often find one side is really different to the other. Alright, we're going to go back to the first side. If you do have a block, you can do this standing on your block because then it gives you more range. If you don't have a block, just stay on the floor. I'm going to stay on the floor today. So again, we're going to find that lift and then just lowering with control. Lift and lower with control. So if you do have a block and you've got more range, you don't have to bring your foot all the way to the floor. So you are giving yourself even more work, you're increasing the stamina even more by not giving it that little tiny rest by coming all the way down to the floor. I'm trying not to touch the floor even though I don't have very much range. We're trying that on the other side. So again, just another little set of those, controlled and slow. Good for your balance as well. As always, if you need to hold on to something to help with your balance, then feel free. I'm a bit wobbly on this side today. Alright, and then coming off, give your legs a little shake out. Ooh. Let's do some heel raises now. So rising up onto the balls of your feet and then lowering down with control. If you come too far forward, it's going to make you fall. So kind of just come up onto the ball of your foot rather than all the way onto your toes. And again, see if you can control it. Often we kind of come up and then just drop down really quickly. So it's the lowering down that's the hardest work with this one. And again, remember you can go near a wall to hold on to. Let's add some arms. As you rise up this time, let's reach the arms up to the sky. Circle your arms out to the sides, lowering your hands as you lower your heels. Let's do 3 big circles. One more like that. And then all the way down to the floor. Good job. Okay, we're going to come down onto the floor now, and we're going to come down onto our back. So make your way down onto the floor. And taking a moment there just to let your body settle into the floor. So just roll your chest and your shoulders open. Try and let those ribs relax. Anchor in your pelvis. Take some deep breaths there. Remember, you've always got the option to bolster yourself here. You can always pop yourself a cushion or a few cushions under your head if you need to. But try and be as relaxed and as comfortable as you can. And then we're going to bring our knees into our chest. Give your knees a little hug, and you can just rock gently side to side if you want to, just rolling out your lower back. I'm going to do some little leg stretches here after working our legs in that standing position. Let's do a little leg stretch. So keep hold of one knee and let your other foot come back down to the floor. Pulling that knee deep into your chest, but try and keep your pelvis anchored. So if you pull that knee really deep into your chest, notice if it takes your pelvis with it. Is your back completely flat? See if you can find that neutral position and then keep that as you pull the knee in. It's only very subtle, and if you're not sure, don't worry about it, but it's just helping to get more mobilisation of the hip rather than tilting your pelvis and using your back. And then keeping hold of this leg, let's take it up to the sky and point and flex our foot here. And then circling at your ankle. And circle the other way. Good, and then when you're ready, just bring that knee into your chest again. And let's switch legs, so bring in the other leg in. Again, try and keep your pelvis anchored so that you're not tipping back. And then straightening that leg, let's point and flex our foot here. Circling at your ankles. And the other way. Good. And then when you're ready, bring that knee into your chest again, hold. And lowering that leg back down. So feet and knees hip width apart now. And we're going to take it into that little pelvic tilt here. So take a breath, and as you exhale, do tilt your pelvis towards you and flatten out your back. As you inhale, rolling that pelvis back into a neutral position. So we're just going to roll forwards and backwards a few times, moving with your breath. Exhale, tilt towards you. Inhale, tilt the other way. So here we're using this just to mobilise our lower back, mobilise our pelvis. Good, okay. Now we are going to roll up into our spine curl, so if you do have anything under your head, just pop it out for this, or if you need to stay with something under your head, you can just stay with that pelvic tilt. Otherwise, we're going to tilt the pelvis towards us and keep rolling those hips up towards the sky. Pausing at the top for a breath and then slowly rolling down. So see if you can move on your exhale. Just slowing the movement down. And again, we're using this as a mobility exercise. So we're trying to get the spine as flexible as possible. We're noticing as we roll up, does each part of the spine come up in turn, and same as you roll down. Can you feel each area coming down, or is it kind
kind of just coming up and down as well. Excuse me. So we're looking for that super slinky snake spine. Do one more time. And as you roll down this time, bringing your knees into your chest again and just roll gently side to side, just giving your low back, again, a little release. So we're going to do a little bit of work now on our glutes and our hamstrings and our abdominals by using a bit of a hip lift movement. So let's go back to feet and knees hip width apart. This time, instead of curling and rolling our spine up, we're just going to press into our heels and lift those hips straight up to the sky. And then we're just going to fold at the hip and lower your bottom back down. So you're keeping that back pretty straight, pretty flat this time. We're not looking for that snake spine, we're looking for that spine of steel as you lift and lower. So once you've got that movement, I want you to really focus on pushing your heels down as you lift up and then lower down. And you can probably feel as you push your heels down that those glutes are kind of contracting, they're tightening up to help lift. See if you can find that. Doesn't matter how high you lift, just find that work in those glutes. Keep going with that, but notice as you come up, does your pelvis come up level, or is one side kind of a little bit tilted more than the other? See if you can find that level pelvis so it comes up at the same time. And it's often helpful to put your hands on the front so that you can feel if it is level. Good. Okay, so this time come up about halfway and hold. And then we're going to see if we can lift one foot away from the floor without the pelvis dropping. So can you peel one foot away from the floor and bring that leg into that tabletop position without your pelvis dropping. When you're ready, lower that leg back down, get that pelvis level and try the other side. And we're going to keep with this. Keep switching sides. If you find that your pelvis drops, that's not a problem. You're going to push into that standing leg to level out that pelvis, and that's going to be more work for your glutes. So the goal is the level, not tipping pelvis. Sometimes we just have to concentrate a little bit more on finding that. As you lower your leg down this time, lower your bottom down and do your little knee hug again. I'm going to do another little set of those leg hovers. This time we're going to lift the arms away so that we can't use anything to help stabilise us other than our abdominals. So feet and knees hip width, hands on your pelvis, elbows hover off the floor. So let's push into those heels and lift halfway. When you're ready, can you lift one leg off the floor? Now if your pelvis drops, remember you've just got to level it out. And then try the other side. Keep going, keep switching sides. Remember to keep pushing into that heel to keep those glutes working. Abdominals are working pretty hard as well to help keep you level and to stabilise you so that you're not rocking and rolling. And you do one more like that. And as you lower your leg, lower your bottom and hug your knees in again. Nice. Okay, so we're going to work inner thighs now. So whatever you've got to squeeze, grab that, whether it's a block or a cushion or half dome, anything. Whatever you've got, pop it between your knees. I'm going to keep the feet down on the floor. And all we're going to do is take a breath. And as you exhale, you're going to squeeze whatever you're holding. As you inhale, release. And as you exhale, squeeze. Move in with the flow of your breath. And once you've got the rhythm, notice here whether you, as you squeeze your block, does your pelvis try and tilt? See if you can keep your pelvis super still so that it's just the knees, the inner thighs that are working, that are moving. Because you might also be able to feel that your abdominals are working here too. So going with each exhale, squeeze, each inhale, release. This time as you squeeze, we're going to hold the squeeze, but don't hold your breath. So squeeze and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. We're going to do little tiny pulse squeezes. We're going to do 10 really quick ones. Are you ready? Keep breathing. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and hold again. Squeeze even tighter. We're going to hold for 10. Hold for 9, 8, 7. Squeeze harder. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Good job. Take your cushion, your block, whatever you're using away. Keep it nearby. And bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees roll out to that cobbler position. And we're just going to hold here for a few breaths. Really nice way to just release those inner thighs in case they were starting to get a little bit grippy. And then we're going to bring the knees back in towards each other. We're going to take it into our patella center and exercise because it's one of my all-time favourites. We're going to keep one leg bent and straighten the other leg out long. Walk the legs in so that you can feel they're just touching in that centre line. And then find your pelvis in that level position again. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, we're going to lift that long leg up until the knees are at the same height. And then inhale as you lower. Then again, as you exhale, you lift. And as you inhale, you lower. Try and keep your pelvis from rocking and rolling. So pelvis doesn't move, it's just that leg lifting. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Can you do one more like that? And then we're just going to switch and do exactly the same on the other side. Going to take a moment to get you set up right. Legs are touching in the midline, pelvis is level. And on your exhale, you're going to lift. On your inhale, you're going to lower. Now you can have a pointed foot, you can have a flexed foot, or you can just have a relaxed foot. Any of those are fine. Feel free to try them all and see which feels better for you. One more time. And as you lower your leg down this time, go back to your first side. Same again, but turn out that leg this time. So we're turning out from the hip. And when you're ready, you're going to lift. And lower. Again, lifting on your exhale. Lowering on your inhale. As always, it's a good time now to check in how much weight you're putting through that standing foot. Can you unweight that foot a little bit so that more of the stability work is done by your abdominals rather than by pushing that foot down into the floor? Are you ready to switch sides as you lower that leg? Let's try the other side. Same thing, turn it out. When you're ready, lift. Good. do one more time. And as you lower your leg down, bring your knees into your chest again, give your knees a little hug, and just rock gently side to side. Bringing your feet down to the floor now. I'm going to have feet and knees together and opening those arms out to a T, palms face up. Taking it into a spine twist. So you're going to roll both knees gently to one side. And then when you're ready, come in through centre and over to the other side. So try and keep your ribs still. So the twist is just through your waist. And your shoulder blades, the back of your rib cage, stay anchored down on the floor. It doesn't matter how big this movement is. Just getting a little bit of rotation. As you roll your knees to one side this time, we're going to let the knees keep coming all the way onto the side so that the knees come down to the floor. And then this bottom arm, you can bring it around to kind of touch your knees or hold onto your knees. And then our other arm, we're going to see if we can open back out to a T. So what tends to happen as you open that arm out is that the knees kind of lift. So we're going to keep the knees down and keep the arm on top of them to keep them down and open that arm out behind you. If it won't go all the way to the floor, don't worry about it, most people's don't. See where you can get to and then just hold for a few breaths. Really nice for opening out your chest, your shoulder, getting that, again, nice twist through your waist. This time the pelvis is anchored and the rib cage is twisted away. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So kind of bring yourself back onto that side position again. Roll yourself onto your back. And then take the knees to the other side. Again, knees down. Bottom arm is going to hold on to those knees so that you can open out that top arm. Again, holding there. Taking some deep breaths. And then again, when you're ready to come out of it, roll back onto your side and then onto your back and give your knees a little hug. Just rock gently side to side. Okay, grab your block again or your cushion again, whatever you were using before, and pop it back between your knees again. And then we're going to find that tabletop position this time. Taking those arms back out into that T, palms facing up. And we're going to do that little side to side again. Remember, we want to keep shoulder blades and ribs anchored, and we're just letting our body twist from the waist. So the pelvis is going to go side to side. Knees are going to go side to side. And have a little squeeze of those knees again here. So it's those abdominals that are bringing those knees back into centre. Good. Alright, as you come back into centre this time, how about you put your cushion or your block between your ankles? And do the same thing here, so make it a smaller movement to begin with. If you don't like it, if it feels like it's just too much strain, go back to between your knees. Good job. And then as you come in through centre this time, pause there. turn your legs in and out? So legs are still up towards the sky, but can you roll those legs in and out while you're still holding your block or your cushion? See if you can roll the legs in and out. So your heels kind of come closer towards each other and then your toes. Yeah? So the turnout's coming all the way from the hip, legs roll in and out here. Kind of a strange one to do in this position, but it's really good for working those deep hip rotators. So again, it's all about hip mobility and just finding it in a different position. Ooh, all right, bend the knees in, get rid of your block, get rid of your cushion, whatever you're using, hug those knees and roll it out. Let your feet come down to the floor. Take them wide to the edges of your mat for windscreen wipers now. So allowing both knees to roll to one side, coming in through centre and over to the other side. And I've gone back to that T arms with the palms facing up because I like that. It feels good to open out chest and shoulders. You can have your arms wherever feels good to you. As we roll gently side to side. As you come in through centre this time, pausing there, and we're going to make our way onto our side. So coming onto your side, we're going to do the clown. So we're going to have our head propped in our hand, knees bent, and then take a moment to make sure that your pelvis is level, so we've not got that top hip rolled back. And that little hip bone. Keep a check on that one. Okay, feet stay together as we open out that top knee and then close it down. Again, feet stay together. We open and close those knees. So I like to find that hip bone so that we can check as that top knee opens out, that the hip bone doesn't kind of go with it. Yeah, so it just stays still. Can you do two more like that? As you close the knee down this time, lift the feet. Let's go here. Can you do three more? 3, 2, one more time. 1, and then lowering the leg down. Oh, we're going to lift that whole top leg this time, so we're not going to keep the feet together. We're going to lift and lower that whole leg. Lift and lower. Doesn't matter how high it lifts. 2 more. 1 more time. Lift and lower. And as it lowers this time, give it a little rub, give it a little pat. And if it's here that it's really aching, you know you were using the right muscles. You're using those lateral hip muscles. Oh. Okay, we're going to go straight over onto the other side and do the same thing on that side. So make your way over. Again, take your time. Get those knees bent. Make sure that your pelvis is in that good position. And find that hip bone again. When you're ready, we're going to go. Feet stay together. We're going to open up that top knee and close it down. Keep going. Two more. As your knee lowers this time, float the feet. Let's go. Can you do 3 more? 3, 2, last one. Lower the knees, no, lower the feet, I can't speak. Lifting that whole leg this time, lift and lower again, doesn't have to be big. Keep going. Last two. Last one. Lower. Give it a little rub. Give it a little pat. We're going to roll straight over onto our front now. So when you're ready, roll onto your front. We're going to do a little bit of back extension. What we're going to do is have the hands really close in. So elbows are kind of tucked into your sides and hands are just in front of your shoulders. We still want to anchor the pubic bone and slightly tuck the tailbone to lengthen that lower back. And then when you're ready, on an in-breath, press your hands into the floor and lift the back of your head and your neck towards the sky. And then lower down. Just come up as far as feels okay for you, no strain. Do that again as you inhale, press the hands down and lift away from the floor. And as you exhale, we're lowering back down. Just going at your own pace. Keeping your eyes down at the floor. Can you do two more like that? And as you lower down this time, just stay down for a moment and rock your hips gently side to side, just to free off any tension in your low back. And we're going to do another little set of those. Now you can choose to do exactly the same, or you can try it with the hands hovering off the floor. When you're ready, let's do about 6 of these. When you're ready, let's go again. So on an in-breath, we're going to lift. And as you exhale, we're going to lower. So if you're not using your hands into the floor, you're probably not going to come up as high, and that's okay. Make sure you're breathing. And when you've finished with those, whether you've done 6 or not, just rock your hips gently side to side and bring those hands around so that you can rest your forehead onto your hands. We're going to take it into our hip extension from here. Pubic bone anchored, tailbone tucked. Reach one leg away from you, make that leg as long as you can, let it lift from the floor and then lower. Other side, reach the leg long, let it lift and lower. Keep going, keep switching sides. Remember, we're reaching that leg, making it as long as we can. Trying to keep our back as relaxed as possible. So that the work is in your glutes again, bottom, back of the thigh, glutes and hamstrings working hard. One more on each side. And as you lower your leg down this time, we're going to push ourselves up and back to find that child's pose, find that rest position. So bottom back towards your heels, reaching those arms forwards. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up, find our strap and go over onto our back. When you're ready, we're going to place one foot into the strap and lengthen your other leg out long. So we want both legs as straight as we can get them. Doesn't matter how high this leg is. But check in with your pelvis again. Can you find that neutral level pelvis where hip bones and pubic bone are on the same level and we've not tilted back? Once you're happy with your position, you're just going to take those deep breaths. Do your little scan for tension again, making sure that you aren't gripping, clenching your teeth, wherever you normally grip. If it feels okay, let's bring that leg across. in through centre, slightly turn it out, take it out to the side. And then when you're ready, bring that leg back in. We're just going to do the same on the other side, so switching legs. Again, both legs as straight as possible. Make sure that your pelvis again is level, it's not tipping back. Good. Bringing that leg across if that feels okay. Good. And then back in through centre, slightly turn it out and take the leg out to the side. Good, when you're ready, bring that leg back in and then get rid of your strap. Lengthen your legs out long and reach your arms overhead and stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Make yourself as long as you can. We're going to take it into our crescent stretch from here. So you're going to walk your feet to your right first. So to the right, to the right, to the right. And then walk your arms and upper body also to your right. Now stay there if you want to. Or you can cross your left ankle over your right, giving you even more stretch. And with your right hand, you can grab your left wrist and just give it that little extra pull, just to really create that space down that left side. Taking those deep breaths, finding that expansion of your rib cage. When you're ready, release your arms first. Release those legs, walking your legs into centre. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So walk your legs to your left this time. Arms up and overhead again. And then walk your arms and upper body also to your left. Again, you can stay there or cross your right ankle over. With your left hand grabbing that right wrist just to give it that little extra stretch. Again, taking those deep breaths here. When you're ready, release your hands again first. Walk your legs back in through centre. Moving slowly as you bend the knees. And then bring your knees into your chest. Again, give your knees a little hug and let's just rock gently side to side. Finding your cobbler stretch now, so let the feet come back down to the floor. Soles of the feet together again, knees roll out to the sides. And then let's stretch out those fingers as well while we're here. So reaching your hands up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers and flip the hands over, press your palms up. Keeping the ribs down as you take those arms overhead towards the floor behind you. Keep pressing into those hands. Let's take a couple of big breaths here. hands back up towards the sky. Release your fingers and give your fingers a wriggle. Let's circle at our wrist. And the other way. And then gently pulling each finger in turn back. Once you've stretched out all those fingers, give them a little wriggle again. Just release the hands down. We're going to stay in this cobbler for just a couple more breaths. And then bringing the knees back in towards each other. We're going to slowly make our way onto our hands and knees, so take your time. Find your way onto your hands and knees. And we're going to have our fingers spread wide. Our thumbs pointed towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. And we're going to do a little rhomboid push up here. A little release for your shoulders. Let your shoulder blades squeeze together and then press wide. Shoulder blades squeeze and press. Once you've done a few, have a look at your elbow pits. Check that they're looking forwards again, because they always want to roll in and look at each other. So check those again. Good. One more. And then just coming off your wrists for a moment, give your hands a little twirl around, or your wrists a little twirl around. A little shake out. We're going to go back onto hands and knees again, same position, fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits forwards. This time we're going to do our little forearm push-up. So we're going to bend the elbows. Elbows are going to point towards your knees as you lower your upper body towards the floor, and then come back up. So elbows bend and kind of drawing in towards each other. Don't let them go flying out to the sides. They're going to want to poke out to the sides. And keep them drawing in. Little mini press up. Can you do 2 more of those? And then as you come up this time, we're going to come up to a straight arm. Again, elbow pits forwards. We're going to take it into our cat-cow from here. So take a breath. Tuck your bottom under and roll through your spine, making your back as rounded as you can. Pause for a breath, and then go the other way, stick your bottom out. Roll through your spine again, head is the last thing to move. Going at your own pace. And again, we're looking for that flexibility of your spine. As you come back in through centre this time, we're going to come down onto our elbows. And then I want you to walk your elbows forwards just a couple of inches, so a little bit further forward, and then pulling your bottom back towards your heels, but keeping it up in the air. So we're not going into child's pose, this is a little puppy pose. So hands and elbows are pushing forwards, bottom's pulling back. And you can let your head and your chest come down towards the floor. Real big stretch for your shoulders, your upper back. And when you're ready, we're going to gently come on out of that. So we're going to come up to find a seated position. Take your time. But just find a position that's comfortable. Alright, feel free to grab cushions, blocks, anything that you need. Okay, and then we're going to do some little shoulder rolls. So once you're happy, let's start to roll the shoulders. And then go the other way. Good. Good, pausing there, tilt your head now this time, dropping one ear down towards your shoulder. Just hold it there. Coming up and over to the other side, hold. Good, coming back to that first side again. Holding that, and this is where we lift the opposite shoulder. So lifting the opposite shoulder towards your ear and then pull it down. Do it again. I'm going to do 2 more like that. Pull it down. 1 more. Try the other side. Again, that lift and that pull of your shoulder. And then bring your head gently back in through centre. We're going to reach both arms forward, 2 cups of water that you're holding in your hands, and we're going to tip them out. So we're in that external rotation. Take your arms out to the sides. Keep that tipping out of that water, that rotation, as you reach your elbows away. So we're not going to fully straighten the arms, we're going to keep them a little bit bent, but we're reaching those elbows away. Hold here. Couple of breaths. Good, and then just release the hands, release the shoulders. Do your little rolls again, a couple of times in each direction. And then we're going to take the arms out to the side, palms face down. And then let's roll them so palms face up, palms face down. Roll them as far back as you can. Now roll them as far forwards as you can. Roll them as far back as you can. And as far forwards as you can. Can you do one way and one the other? Good. And then let's bend the elbows into that stop position. Let's have one hand going back, one hand up, one hand down. Let's go with that. One hand up, one hand down. I like to make the shoulders do different things at the same time. Not only because it challenges your brain, see how awake we all are. Good, and then let's bring those hands together. We're going to keep the elbows together and open out the hands. And then close. Again. Open out and close. One more time. Open and close. Backs of the hands together now for reverse prayer hands. Let the thumbs come together. And then pull the thumbs as far away from your fingers as you can. Check where your shoulders are. Can you drop those shoulders? Keeping the backs of the hands together, can you lower them down? Trying to get your forearms parallel to the floor. And now notice whether those fingers are digging into your chest. Can you try and turn the fingers so they're pointing up to the sky rather than pointing in towards you? And that's quite an intense stretch. Couple of breaths. And then just gently release. Wriggle your fingers. Circle your wrists. Guys, you are done.